Hello and welcome to Psych Boost. In this video we'll be looking at explanations for people's ability to resist social influence. We're going to try and define social support and we're going to try and define locus of control. We'll look at two pieces of evaluative research and we'll look at ways to expand those evaluations.
1, 2,
So firstly,
3.
how do we define social support? This is seeing other people resisting orders or the pressure to conform. And what this does for us is it increases our confidence in resisting social influence ourselves. This is both via pressure to conform and orders from authority figures. So how does this work? Well, having others who are defiant around us, it gives us a disobedient role model to follow. Or it creates a small alternative group that we can join to and we can ally with. It breaks the unanimity of a larger group, and it challenges the legitimate authority of the authority figure. So we also need to know the term locus of control. Locus of control was suggested by Rotter. This is the idea that a person has kind of an individual sense of control over their lives, and this can be measured on a scale. So this personality scale ranges from a high internal to a high external locus of control. So what does this mean? Well, someone with a high internal locus of control feels that their actions control their lives. They have a responsibility for their actions, and these actions dictate the events in their lives. And they're less concerned by social approval. Someone with a high external locus of control, however, they feel their lives are controlled by external forces like other people, fate, or maybe the government. Now, the majority of people will have scores somewhere in the middle of these two extremes, with only a few people scoring in either end. Someone with a high internal locus of control is much more able to resist pressures to conform or to obey. So a quick question, why do you think this is? Why do you think it is that someone with a high internal locus of control is more able to resist these pressures to conform or obey? I'll allow you to write a brief paragraph in your notes and we'll look at these when you come to class. Let's look at some evaluative research in the area of locus of control. Well, Holland did a replication of Milgram's classic study, and in this replication, participants were assessed for either having an internal or an external locus of control. Found that 37% of those with an internal locus of control would refuse to continue to the highest shock level. This is compared to 23% of those with an external locus of control. So that does suggest that those with a high internal locus of control are much more able to resist orders. We could build on this evaluation though. 63%, still the majority of those with an internal locus of control, still obeyed the authority figure. And as 23% of people with an external locus of control refused, some people with an internal locus of control obeyed, some people with an external locus of control refused. That must mean that locus of control can't fully explain why some people obey and some people don't. Let's look at some evaluative research for social support. Well, we can use Ash, and well, more importantly, one of his variations. So, in one of Ash's variations, one of the Confederates disagreed with the group. They gave a different response to the line length problem than the other Confederates. So they provided a social support to the participant. They disagreed with the group. And conformity did drop significantly from those 32% of critical trials down to just 5.5% of critical trials. This really does demonstrate the power of social support in allowing people to resist conformity. Now this effect is so strong, it was demonstrated by Alan Levine where they did a similar task to Ash's line test. But in this study, the non-conforming Confederate, they had big thick glasses and they said very clearly early on they had difficulty seeing. So even though you've got this room full of people without the big thick glasses, saying the wrong answer, just having this one Confederate who clearly has a vision problem gives you enough social support to go against the rest of the group. So how could we build these evaluations? Well, examples of resistance to social influence run through Ash, Milgram and Zimbardo, where individuals resisted the pressure to obey or to conform. 24% of people didn't conform in a single critical trial length in Ash's study. 35% of people refused to obey the experimenter in shock all the way up to 450 volts in Milgram's research. And most of the guards refused to perform the social role of aggressive guard in Zimbardo's study. So what does this demonstrate? This demonstrates that a significant number of people, perhaps not the majority, but a significant number of people are able to resist social pressure. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like. If you haven't already, click subscribe to be updated with new videos. And also, if you have any questions about the content covered during this video, please drop a comment in the comments below. If you see a question and you think you can answer it, then please give that a go as well. Thank you very much. Until the next episode of PsychBoost.